We're up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, I am Lieutenant Tom Cashion, your host for Zoom with the Cop. Today I am joined by Captain Jay Hill and Kat Reisinger and our crime analyst, Lauren Gehring, as well as we have some support people. We got Brandon and Matt. Brandon's working the teleprompter and Matt's working all the electronics in the background to make sure that we have a somewhat of a professional look to our Zoom with the Cop. So I'm glad you guys are all here. Good. And so we'll get started and work through this. I do have some special things that we're going to do today. We're going to cover a slideshow to help you understand a little bit more about different rules and stuff that come down from the public order. So on today's show, we will be discussing how COVID-19 has affected our community with the changing rules and policies. We hope to guide you to better understand what is open or closed and be safe during the crisis. We'll also be answering your questions via Zoom. So if you have a question, please log into Zoom and use meeting ID number 914-1297-5283. And the password is WCPD0507. Again, the password's WCPD0507. If you do not have a question and you would just like to view today's program, tune into Comcast Channel 28, Wave Channel 29, or on the City of Walnut Creek and Walnut Creek Police Department's Facebook Live posts. You can also leave questions or comments on Facebook Live, which we will be monitoring as well. So to start off, let's watch a public service announcement produced by the Walnut Creek Police Department and the Walnut Creek TV on wearing a mask for safety. Okay, wow, Captain Hill, you had a little cameo in there. You looked great in there. Good job.
That was a very bad hair day, but they're all bad hair days these days.
Tell me about it. Your mom would be proud, though. Okay, so I have a PowerPoint that we put together for you to help you better understand some of the rules and regulations regarding the COVID-19 stay-at-home order and all the other public health orders that have come out. I believe we're on our 5th public health order in just 2 months. So hopefully we can answer some of your questions, and we do have some resources to help you find even more answers to any questions you have as we move through the show today. So shall we get started, and we'll go through to the PowerPoint. So first off, I think everybody can see it. Do view. Hang on one second. I want to just have it on view mode. There we go. So again, our stay-at-home order, the most recent one, has been extended to May 31st, 2020. And as you've kind of been seeing in the news and other things, some things have been lightened up on, and we'll go over some of the things that used to be what we couldn't do or what was not allowed to now what is allowed. And I think as we move through the month, we may even see more. But definitely, I think June we'll start seeing definitely a decrease in the restrictions. Granted, it's not going to be a free for all, but we are seeing some lightening up, so that's a good thing. And that's all because of that curve is flattening. We're doing a much better job I was looking at the public health order or the public health site for Contra Costa County, and now we were averaging 15 new cases a day. At one point, we were up over 30 cases a day, so that's good news. So let's go on to the next slide. So as I was talking about easing up some of the restrictions, construction is now allowed even at your home. So if you have a remodel and things like that, that is allowed, but safety precautions have to take place, and that is wearing the mask, social distancing, and things like that to prevent any kind of spread of the disease. Real estate is also allowed now. So if someone wants to go look at a home, they're allowed to go with their realtor. They're just not allowed to have, like, the seller is not allowed to be in the home as well. So just the realtor and the buyer at one time is allowed. Also, our low risk outdoor activities like golf and tennis and pickle, a few other ones are now allowed to occur in the community. Also, our social distancing and cover your face is still in effect. And please make sure it's always best to wear a mask. Even when in doubt, go ahead and put a mask on. Next slide. So I want to talk about our city response in our own facilities. What's closed is, of course, City Hall, Leisure Center, community centers, parking garages, playgrounds, and our libraries. In addition, just a little benefit that some might not know, all our parking meters are not being enforced. So you're allowed free parking, just like Monopoly, free parking in Walnut Creek. So that's a good thing. Granted, you're not allowed to park at red curbs or handicap spots or anything like that. What is open is our police department. We continue to be open. Open space is open for exercise. And now our golf course is open. Next slide. So the county emergency moratorium on evictions and rent increases is still in effect. So that means that renters cannot be evicted during this crisis. That applies to both residential and commercial, and that is extended to May 30th. And then also there's 120 days to repay back rent without late fees. So here's some of the indicators for modifying stay-at-home orders. And this is coming from the county, as these are kind of the stages that they're looking at in order to start easing up some of the restrictions. And those are to the ability to test, contact trace, isolate, and support the exposed, ability to protect those at high risk for COVID-19, surge capacity for hospital and health systems, therapeutic development, meet the demand, ability of businesses and childcare facilities to support physical distancing, as well as determination of where to reinstitute measures for the stay-at-home. Okay. City responses. The majority of our city staff is working from home now. All our staff is to be paid through April 7th, and our hourly and temporary workers were not scheduled, they were furloughed. And then on May 4th on, we're assessing budgetary impacts at the city, and that's an ongoing process. Let's go ahead and skip that slide. So we are in it together. These are the symbols that the Walnut Creek has put together to show that we are all in this together. These are open source logos, and you can go to our webpage, walnutcreek.org together, if you want to see those symbols. Our next steps are financial impacts to the city. Fiscal year 21 revenue projections are due May 19th. Continue to monitor our situation. We're developing financial and operational plans depending on length of shelter and place orders. And obviously there's no certain end date, so we're always adjusting and moving with this. So questions, contact us at community@walnutcreek.org. The Walnut Creek non-emergency police line is 925-943-5844. Our senior COVID-19 hotline is 925-943-5852. Our neighborhood express, to get a hold of them, would be walnutcreek.org. neighborexpress.org. And that's if you're a senior and you need help picking up groceries or medicine, that's an excellent place to go to in order to connect with someone who can bring you those items. And then also the COVID-19 public testing, the phone number for that is 844-421-0904. And the Contra Costa Public Health Department has opened up a public testing site at Heather Farm, and it's open daily. And they started it yesterday, and you can call that number and make a reservation to go get tested at that location. Brandon, do you want to hit that? Okay, we got a moment here. Is there any questions that have come through that you've seen, Captain Hill?
No questions yet. Do we have the ability to put that login number and password back up on the screen? I know Lieutenant Cashion read it initially, but there may be some people who didn't have an opportunity to write it down.
Yeah, I've got it up on the broadcast. Unfortunately, we can't put it up on Zoom. We can only read it because the graphics only follow through the broadcast side of the system.
Lieutenant Cashion, you want to read it again? Make sure everybody has that login information in case they want to ask any questions.
Yeah, hang on. We'll have to have Brandon go back and pull it back up.
I got it. Okay, if you'd like to go to our meeting ID for questions and answers, the meeting ID is 914-129-75283, and the password is capital WCPD 0507. And we'll be happy to answer questions. We have a few people in the attendee space. We're now finding people. I do have a few questions that came in early, so maybe we go over those.
Sure.
I think there's a piece of paper I gave you there, Tom.
Yep, I got it.
The question was, can I take my kids to a child care facility?
Yeah.
Top of page 2, I believe.
Yes, you can take your children to a child care facility if it's there to support a parent who is working in one of the essential businesses. One of the other questions I have here is, can I take my dog to the park now? You can take your dog for a walk, but our dog park is not open. Those remain closed. Can my children go to the park now? Our playgrounds remain closed. But you're more than welcome to go walk through our parks. You're more than welcome to go to our open space with your children to get exercise and explore our fabulous open spaces. But again, obviously be mindful of the social distancing. And there might be times that you may want to put on a mask at like the parking lot where it tends to get a little bit more congested. Can I travel or to go hiking? Yes, absolutely. You can travel to a spot to go hiking to get exercise. Granted, the state and the county has said that we want to limit travel, but it's not restricted. So if you travel to go to a place to go have some exercise, that is allowed. Can I play tennis? Yes, you can. Just like we showed on that slideshow. You can play tennis and pickleball and as well as golf. It is restricted to singles only when we talk about tennis, so no doubles is allowed to do that. And obviously our golf course is open again. So for all those duffers out there, that's great news. Let's see. Can I have a play date with other children? Time for kids to learn how to use Zoom. Play dates are restricted. You're not allowed to do it. So this is a great opportunity to introduce them to this virtual way of communicating. I think this is going to be here for a long time now. So might as well get them involved. I know my kids are involved in it. My 11-year-old Zooms with his friends as well as with his teachers. Can I have a babysitter in it? The answer to that is yes. Under modifications to the stay-at-home order, you may employ a babysitter. Again, they'll obviously use proper, masking and hand washing and things like that, just to reduce any kind of exposure to your children.
Tom, looks like we have a question from Susan. I'm going to bring her in as a panelist.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
I just want to get really clear because I have been staying at home. I'm over 60 and haven't been socializing at all in person in any way. And some of my friends want to go on these hikes 6 feet apart. And I really don't know what to think about that.
Hi, Susan. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. So
Thank
much
you.
better when someone in real life is asking questions instead of me going over a list from before. Yeah, you know, the recommendations are for people over 60 to stay at home. However, they also recommend that it's important that you exercise. So as far as, you know, you hiking with a friend, I mean, obviously I would, if you do that, that is allowed. You could do that. But obviously take in all those measures, you know, of covering your face, hand washing, and staying definitely 6 feet from each other. I think that is a safe thing to do. It's also a good thing to do as far as your, oh, there you are. I can see you now. For your health. I think that's just better, just for your mental health, your physical health, and it's good to get out and just get moving.
Right. I've been walking around my development, but alone. And it's getting pretty hairy, all this aloneness. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, you're with us today, so we've got some
and I
interaction
was
today.
so looking forward to this. This is fabulous. Thank you.
You bet.
So you suggest wearing a mask and maintaining the 6 feet, even
Yes.
when we're maintaining the 6 feet, wearing the mask?
I suggest it just to be an extra safe precaution, especially if you're over 60 years old. I would do both. You know, and granted, talking about masks, there is a difference, just so everybody knows. So this is my cloth mask. It's washable. It's got the little binder in there that can form over your nose, which makes a nice, better seal.
Be a
But
little
this
higher,
is,
Tom. We can't quite see it.
how about there?
Oops.
There we go. Now if I put it on.
There you go.
So here we go, and you can pinch it around my nose. This is a cloth mask. Now, this is the lowest protection of masks. So this is like a scarf. It falls under those lines. This is to be worn like how we do it in the police department when we are walking through our hallways. All the officers wear these so that if there's any chance encounters, that kind of stuff, we get in within 6 feet. We have this to help protect us. Now, when we deal with the public, like if we are in a law enforcement capacity situation, we are required, as you saw in that video of our officers, we're required to wear the N95 mask. And what this does is this allows us to have more protection when we are dealing with the public. It reduces the chances of any kind of COVID exposure. Could you still have a COVID exposure? Yes, you can. Remember, your eyes are still exposed. If you have prolonged exposure to the virus, it can penetrate the mask. But that's what we use when we're out and about. It's just a little extra safety for us when we are out with the public. Did you have another question?
Another question.
Great.
Yeah, they're totally on a different subject. I imagine many of us have heard what Cuomo said about the new study on hospital admissions in New York, that the majority of people that are being admitted now are people that have been staying home and not working, which is really scary. I don't know if you all are aware of that, and if anybody has any comment.
I don't. Captain Hill or
I'm not aware of that study at all. I haven't heard of it. I'm not sure what you're referring to, so I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, it's a pretty important study, and it's pretty alarming. It was all over the news yesterday. You might want to look it up because it has big implications for what we're all doing.
Do you know what news agency it was from?
I heard it on NPR News. It was on the news flash that, you know, on my Amazon Echo, I just said play the news and it was on there. So
yeah, we'll look into that and see what the study shows.
Excuse me?
Yeah, we will look into that and see what the study shows.
Yeah, and it also showed, the same study showed of those people, the majority of them were of color or poor. So it was really alarming to me.
Yeah.
Might have to rethink everything if what they're saying is true.
Mhm. Yeah, and like this is new for all of our communities, and we're trying to do the best we can, but I know certain times we'll have to make adjustments in order to protect the community better. And I know we're always changing here at the police department and trying to be as nimble as we can in order to, one, keep our officers safe and the community safe, and then also be the best educated we can with any new rules that come on out or new advice on how to better protect us in the community.
I'm sorry to take up so much space, so just one more comment and then I'll stop.
No, it's fine. I'm glad you're here.
So I live in Diablo Hills condominiums, and there's been a spike in car thefts. There's been a lot of reported crime in our area all of a sudden, and with the economic crisis that's now happening, they're linking it to that. And I wonder if it's just in my area, or you're seeing that all over Walnut Creek, or if you have any comments on that.
No, that's a great question for our crime analyst, Lauren Gehring. Lauren, do you want to address it?
Yeah. So regionally, all over the Bay Area, everyone is seeing an increase in car theft and then theft from motor vehicles. So it's not just you, it's not just unique to Walnut Creek. But unfortunately, with so many people at home for the shelter in place, it does give a greater opportunity for people to target vehicles, since you may park your car one day and you may not go out to look at it again for 3 or 4 days. And so a lot of agencies are seeing that trend of someone is either stealing their car or breaking into it, just because people aren't going outside as much, people aren't driving as much or utilizing their vehicles. So it is definitely a trend throughout the Bay Area, and not unique to Walnut Creek, but increased patrol in neighborhood areas, and encouraging your neighbors, if you speak with them, to keep their possessions out of their vehicle and to keep their cars locked is definitely helpful. When a lot of people leave their cars unlocked, and we certainly don't want to encourage people to come and try and get into your vehicle. So keeping your car locked, keeping valuables out of it, keeping spare keys out of it is the best way to combat against that from taking place in your neighborhood.
Yeah, if I could add on to that, that was great, Lauren. Thank you. When we say like don't leave any valuables in your car, and so to you, what you consider valuable, to a crook, they're going to look at this and go, maybe there's something inside that empty bag or that backpack that just has a book in it, and so they're going to break a window and take just something that's isn't valuable at all. But now you have to deal with the broken window, and so we say remove everything out of your car that doesn't need to be in there. And so if you can't, then hide it, and so that there's no tempting to anybody to break a window to see if they get lucky and they find that laptop that is hidden in a bag. So yeah, just be mindful of that. And then yes, the keys. A lot of our stolen vehicles are stolen because someone will break into a car and then they'll find the hidden, which isn't very hidden, in the center console, an extra key, and then they will steal the car. So please don't keep any extra keys in your car. That's a better way to protect yourself. One other thing we are seeing right now are the theft of catalytic converters. We're seeing it all throughout the city. Mainly they're Priuses, the Toyota Priuses, where people are stealing the catalytic converters out of them, as well as some of the other Toyota vehicles. So please be mindful. If you hear something in the middle of the night, don't hesitate to give us a call. We will be coming there quickly, and we're already doing our best we can to try to get our arms around this. And we do have a couple of suspects that we're focusing on right now, but they continue to come into our city and steal these catalytic converters.
Yeah, one resulted in a pursuit last night. We had some people that were in a neighborhood that had been experiencing catalytic converter thefts, and officers saw them sitting in a suspicious car and tried to stop them, and they took off, and a short pursuit ensued before we canceled it due to the danger. But that may have been them just last night.
And and we're also working with the CHP in order to try to get our arms around this. So we're using a lot of other agencies and resources in order to prevent this from occurring, but they're seeing it regionally. So we got a couple of leads, so they're helping us with patrolling our neighborhoods and trying to catch these people who are doing it. One other thing I would like to add is also garage doors. Please take the extra time before you go to bed to make sure your garage doors are closed. We see a lot of that as an opportunity for crooks who like to drive through our town and looking for their opportunity. And if they see an open garage, they're going into the garages and stealing from the garages, including some of the cars. So please close your garage. Is that it, Susan? Did you have any more for us?
Well, I was just wondering about how you guys are doing and as a department, and also like if you've increased, you said you increased patrolling, which is good to know, but also are the number of policemen working now the same as before this all started, or less or more? Are you hiring more? Like what's happening with you guys?
Yeah, primarily we are still at the same staffing levels that we were before. We did alter our schedules and we did pull in some of our special assignment people, like our motorcycle officers. They've been pulled back into patrol. And that was our way to try to boost up our numbers in order to respond to any threats that happened in the community, as well as to provide the services that we needed to provide under these new orders. But we're doing pretty good, I think so. I know sometimes we want to get back to normal just like everybody else. You know, we're getting fatigued like anybody else would be, you know, having to be staying at home. And granted, we get a little bit of a reprieve. We get to go to work since we are essential. So I know a lot of our officers look forward to going to work. It's just something that is in their nature. That's why they became police officers. They want to come in here and help. So as an organization, I think we're doing really well. Our management is very supportive, and our administrative staff on the city has been extremely supportive, including our council and our mayor. So it's going pretty well for us. All right, Susan, is that it? Any more?
That's it.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. It's so nice to actually see some of our community members, and I know it would be much better to do it in person, but at least this is the best second option we have. So thank you.
Thank you very much for doing this. Is this going to be like a regular thing at all, like once a month, or?
Yeah, we've been doing this. This is our third one.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing roughly every 2 weeks is when we're pushing these out. And that also allows, because usually there's going to be, you know, something new in the public order, or there's going to be some kind of easing of the restrictions. So it's our way to kind of get out there and share. On a side note, we are, the calls for service regarding public health order violations has really gone down. So we knew that a lot of this was really an education campaign. So we did very little enforcement. The vast majority of people we contacted stopped whatever we told them to do. And a lot of times they just didn't even realize that they weren't allowed to do it. So it was our way to educate them. And we've only handed out a handful citations for violating any of the public health orders. So that's good news. And like I said, the calls for service have been dropping as well. So people are understanding the rules a lot better. So as we continue to move through this, we'll all get through it together. Okay, any other questions, Brandon, for me?
Do not see any. Let me check one more time.
You know what we could do while you're checking? Kat, do you want to share some stuff from the Arts and Rec side of all the great stuff you guys have been doing?
Yeah, no questions.
Okay, thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome.
I would be happy to. Thank you, Tom. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Sure. Great. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kat. I'm the Recreation Program Manager with the City of Walnut Creek, housed at the Civic Park Community Center, which is mainly our senior center. We have been very busy moving forward with supporting our senior community, everything from providing wellness checks for those of you who are lonely or just want someone to talk to or have questions. We have a senior hotline. That number was provided earlier, and we're open, staffed by a city staff person, a real live person, 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you're listening in, that number again is 925-943-5655. 5852. If you have any specific questions, if everything from if a park is open to you can't reach someone or you don't know if you should be walking on the sidewalk, everything across the board, you can call that number and someone is able to help you. We are also very pleased to announce that we have the Neighbor Express program, which Lieutenant Cashion mentioned earlier. It is a grocery delivery service connecting volunteers with seniors who need grocery shopping or meal delivery. We have available a lot of volunteers who have been vetted, including a background screening process, and they are ready to help out and more than happy to help. There are also multiple Zoom programs if you're interested in trivia, bingo. This morning we had a gardening conversation for an hour, which was actually really fantastic. My mom from San Rafael joined in for it, which was really cool. So everything across the board is all available on our virtual Arts and Rec website, as well as you're more than welcome to reach out to me or anyone on this team. We can get you information that you need. We're really here to help in the community, and we are actively getting ready to try and open as soon as we're allowed to. Still, facilities are still closed, but we just, as Lieutenant Cashion said, we are ready to come back to work on site and provide awesome community events and programs. And that was my son, if you can see him in the background. But thank you very much.
Catherine, how's the Boundary Oak gone?
Boundary Oak has been super popular. We opened Tuesday, I believe, Wednesday. It's basically almost sold out across the board, and there are the social distancing requirements. You can't be in a cart with another person unless it's your household or playing with someone, so there are limited amount of play. But people are there and they're waiting to get on, and I recommend that you call ahead for a tea time instead of showing up. But it's been beautiful out there, and the golf are really excited to have it open, as are the tennis courts and the pickleball courts. Again, no doubles, singles, no sharing of equipment. You do need to wear masks if you get close to individuals, but we are slowly opening areas of recreation that's allowable with the new orders.
Kat, I ran into a person yesterday who was needed a ride, and he was asking a question about how do I get a ride as a senior to the for either for medicine, groceries. Is it possible for seniors to get rides?
That is a wonderful question. And yes, we have a very robust senior transportation program. Currently, it's utilizing the Lyft application, and you can call our senior transportation hotline. You're going to speak with Justin. That number again is the 925-943-5852. You do not need to be a member of anything and is complimentary as long as you are a senior and don't have the ability to drive yourself, and you can get from point A to B. You can get a ride 2 times a day if you need to. If you have a doctor's appointment, we can guarantee that you'll be there on time for that doctor's appointment as long as you call us ahead of time and get it all scheduled for you. Again, the transportation hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we can schedule the rides for you outside of those hours as well as on weekends, but that's when our transportation dispatch coordinator is available to schedule your rides.
And I just brought a graphic up for Neighborhood Express. Can you explain the process for the listeners?
Sure. So Neighbor Express is essentially a form that you can either fill out if you are someone who is looking to volunteer for the volunteer as an individual to go grocery shopping and deliver groceries to seniors, or if you're a senior, you need a helping hand, or you can't go out shopping, or you're immunosuppressed, say you are recovering from an illness and you're under 60 or 65, you still qualify for the program. And you would submit your information online on the Neighbor Express website, and a city staff member will call you and they'll confirm the information, explain the process to you. And basically what it is the city staff members are pairing vetted volunteers with seniors or those in need to do grocery shopping. To date, we have done over 81 grocery delivery services, which has been fantastic, all over the city of Walnut Creek. We have done everything from shopping for 2 red wine bottles and some Oreos to your staples and vegetables and milk. So there is fun times as well that you can get your groceries delivered to you. We have had requests for dog walking assistance, or a gentleman yesterday needed help purchasing gift cards online for his grandkids because it's their birthday and he can't see them. And we had a volunteer who went and purchased the gift cards for this individual and dropped them off at the grandkids' house for their birthday, which was really quite special. So the Neighbor Express process is outlined on the website, but your first point, as soon as you submit a form, you will get a call the same day from a city staff member who can answer any and all of the questions that you have regarding payment. If you don't have the ability to pay for your groceries, we do have some funds available to help you out that you would need to apply for and qualify for. So it's a wonderful program, and we encourage you have volunteers that are ready and waiting to help out. So please do sign up if you need some assistance and don't feel like being out in the community and want to protect yourself.
Wow, that's awesome work. Great stuff, Kat.
Couldn't do without the team, so thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think, does anybody else have any other questions? If not, I was going to wrap it up with a little special thing I have at the end here for everybody. All right. So we'd like to end our show with last Saturday's Walnut Creek PD birthday parade on Hacienda Drive for young Ethan, who turned 11. Happy birthday, Ethan. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you'll join us next time with Zoom with the Cop. Stay safe and take care, everybody.